everybody, I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Welcome to another episode of VO Buzz Weekly.
That's right. And today we are all about part 2 with D. Bradley Baker, and we're going there now. You're so busy, man. I mean, you're out there every day just doing it and making it happen. How do you stay motivated and creative, year after year, just with all the craziness going on?
Well, it's easy to get caught up and exhausted and overwhelmed at this chapter in life, being middle-aged. But I've got
He's 36 years old.
Well, I'm turning 50. I'm turning 50 in a couple of weeks, actually.
Nice, congratulations.
Hey, you.
Do you need us to speak up?
What?
Yeah, what?
What did you say?
Are you kidding me? 50 is like, you're just hitting the stride,
like
baby.
the new 20.
You don't even
Right?
you don't look anywhere near 50, I have
You
to say
act
that.
15, 16, so
Yeah,
it's perfect.
exactly.
I'm an arrested development, which you should be. You should have things that you love as a kid that you still dial up in your
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
all the time. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
How do you stay motivated with all the craziness?
Okay, I think my happiness and sanity is probably motivated on the fact that I have a marvelous wife of 20 plus years.
Nice.
Who's way better than I deserve, and I've got 2 great kids, and I've got a few really good friends, and I had 2 folks who helped me out a lot, and I think that's why I hold it together, because I think it's really easy to fall apart under the weight of your own happiness, your own success out here. I think you can get into a situation where suddenly there are no boundaries and there's nobody left around you to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when people just kind of self-destruct left and right, especially in the on-camera realm, just because it gets so crazy with money and everything else that people just fly apart. So I think the reason I hold together is because I have a normal, happy life, I guess, is the kind of answer I have. And I try to eat well, I try to stay in shape, all those kinds of things, because I consider what I do as it's sort of like being a professional athlete, where I've got to be I got to be ready to deliver these things that can be very physically taxing.
Yeah.
And to sustain it and survive it and to do it for the next and the next and the next gig or audition that comes up. So that's part of my job description, is to be healthy.
Yeah.
And to be kind of together and happily, I can take little breaks now and then, and so that it's not just work.
Yeah.
Because I don't really define my life by my work. It's a lot of what I do. It's a lot of my happiness, but it's not all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you try and find a nice balance between your work and your family and your friends. And
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I think that's why I'm still.
That's good.
Why I
man.
haven't fallen apart.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't read
I mean,
about
he could
you.
fall
We don't
apart
read that much
tomorrow. We
about
don't
you.
know that, but today he's intact.
Not on TMZ. VO edition.
Right.
Oh man.
Who inspires you as a voice actor? Did you have mentors or heroes or even people in the business today that...
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, the things I loved were like Planet of the Apes and Billy Hayes' Witchy Poo and H.R. Puffin stuff. I loved Star Trek. I loved Star Wars. I really thought sci-fi and monsters were cool. Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just things like that. I also, these days too, in addition to monster makers, I love songs by Randy Newman and Tom Waits and Frank Zappa. They mean a lot to me. They feed my mind a lot. What else? What else really inspires me? Weird Al Yankovic inspires me. Somebody that kind of locks into who they are, and they're a decent, nice person, but there's this creative fountain that just does not stop, and just keeps going. And I really admire that. I admire the people who get a good career and just sustain it. To work with someone like Tim Conway. Or Ernest Borgnine, or a lot of people that I'm lucky to be able to run into. People that I saw as a kid and thought they were really awesome and cool, and they're still going for it, and they're still working, and they're still enjoying it, and it's like that's what I love. That's what I want to do. I want to be someone who just keeps going. I don't have to be the star. I don't have to be top of the marquee or anything. I'm happy to have a fun career, and just to have it keep going.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you're doing a pretty
Yeah,
damn
so
good
far,
job
so
of like
good.
keeping going there. So
Yeah, it's so far so good.
So far, so good. Let me ask you, what piece of advice could you give somebody out there who's trying to break into the VO business?
Well, one piece of advice is to go. I made a website called IWantToBeAVoiceActor.com.
That's right.
And
It's a great
that's kind of
site.
the nickel version of a lot of my take on this. It's free and there's no money, and I just put it out there because I don't have an hour to talk to everybody who asks me that question until today. I do. Today I do.
Today he does.
It's a great site, though. It's such a great site.
Thank you. Thanks. I hope
Absolutely.
I hope it's helpful. But the advice I would have is have fun and don't stop having fun doing things that you like. Because I think that can be trained out of you. I think a lot of people become miserable because they stop doing things that they like, and they do things that they're just good at. And in a way, that can kind of become, I think, a prison for people. Something that you're really good at or brilliant at, but that you really don't love and you don't really derive any happiness from. And if pursuing whatever it is, be that art or being an accountant or being an actor, if it stops feeding your happiness, if it stops making you happy, then either take a break or do something different. But don't just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. You gotta move with it the way that it goes, but always follow the stuff that you love to do and don't stop doing that.
That's good.
So let's talk about some current projects.
Okay.
We will get the
current projects
we'll
are
get
cool.
the scroll out.
No, I mind you, we
I
don't
love
have
it.
we don't have all
No, but
week
it's good if
for all your
I can
current
brag
projects.
about you. You're not sitting there
Yeah,
going, "Oh."
absolutely, man.
I mean, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
We are proud of you, dude.
Thanks, Mom.
It's so well
Yeah.
deserved. I mean, it's amazing. I love when I see and hear you all over the place. It's amazing. It's fabulous.
Thanks.
Bring us up to date.
Okay, let's see. Well, we're starting a new season of American Dad. We're doing table reads now. The second one is tomorrow.
Nice.
Of the new season, season 8, and that's marvelous.
Yeah.
We continue along with SpongeBob and Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is the show that I love. Journey, the Legend of Korra. For Nickelodeon, which is one of my favorite shows I've ever been on as well. It's so beautiful and wonderful. I just love that show. We continue with that. There's more Mickey's Mouse Clubhouse projects, a lot of stuff for Disney. There's Ben 10. We continue with Ben 10.
Nice.
Those continue to come down the pike. There's some other
There's
stuff
probably
too.
like 85,000
No, there's a lot.
things more that he can't
No,
remember.
but you can also go to dbaker.com and keep up your
Can
website.
people keep up with you if they're going on your website and find
My
out?
website
like-
can help. I mean, you might,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
probably do better going to IMDb.
IMDb.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Because, man, people just catalog every single little thing that
They
I've
do,
done.
yeah.
Oh, man.
And I can't.
But you've got some cool videos on your site and some,
Yeah.
some fun stuff.
Yeah,
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 there's
yeah.
a few interviews, there's a Clone Wars interview, I think. Some other stuff that just kind of gives you a take on who I am and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Very
And you
cool.
can hear my sounds on my website, dbaker.com.
I know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
You
that
definitely
is-
have to do that.
Get a
That
snack
is a
and
must.
park it. And,
Absolutely. You will freak out.
Yeah. How social media savvy are you, and how much is that a part of your life?
Well, I do Facebook, which is just personal and small, and then I do Twitter, D Bradley Baker, where anyone can follow me on Twitter. And I tweet stuff. I put out a picture of me and Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche, I think, yesterday. I also announced my website, my IWantToBeAVoiceActor.com on Twitter as well. I don't think I really brandish it like an expert, just because I don't really have the need to.
Right.
But I like putting things out there about what I'm doing or that I think fans might find interesting.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of opportunity for that I'm probably missing out on, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I
else
mean,
to do it.
but hold on, because you're talking about, balancing friends and family and
Yeah.
work. If you start tweeting everything, you start getting companies
Yeah.
all around the world knowing what you do, then the family suffers, the friendship, you become
Right.
richer. That's not what he wants.
Right.
No, I don't.
So I think you're sitting in a good place, man.
Yeah,
You're sitting in a good place.
I'm really, yeah, I mean, happiness kills ambition to a degree, and so I just don't have a need to have 10 million followers on Twitter and to have a monument built to me. So
Yeah.
I'm just happy to keep doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
and be able to buy, a rutabaga and not be chased down in the grocery store.
Exactly.
Although if somebody recognizes the weird sound that I'm making, I'm happy to say hello.
I was going to say, if you're trying to voice the rutabaga, I'm pretty sure you're not going to just blend.
There's a
into
guy
the
at the grocery store, actually, he's got a great cricket as well. We do crickets back and
really?
forth.
Oh, wow.
And he starts doing animal sounds, and people just think,
the
we're
creature
two
man.
insane people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
making
that's
sounds
funny,
together.
man. What do you like most? What do you think you like most about the voiceover industry? Or about your work, what you do?
Well, there's a lot to like about the voiceover industry, but I mean, it's always good to be working with people who are really great at the top of their game.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. It's not a lot of pressure. It's not a lot of preparation. You just kind of hop in and you do it. On camera, you have to memorize lines. You got to sit in your trailer all day. It's hot. With voiceovers, it's quick. It's air conditioning. There's no memorization needed.
No hair and makeup.
It's like perfect.
You got no hair and makeup, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really easy. The other thing, just artistically, if I could put it that way, is just the range of things that you have opportunity to do. Now, some people just kind of do one or two, just a few things, which is fine. Someone like an Eddie Deeson or someone who's brought in to do one voice and will say, this is the only voice I do, and I really don't do other voices, and that's fine. But you have the opportunity, for me, kids or old creatures or monsters or a soldier or a wacky mailman or whatever. I mean, it's all over the map in terms of tone and type of show.
Absolutely.
And I could not have that on camera. And on camera, you're lucky to get, like a Michael Keaton or a Tom Hanks, somebody who starts out as this one thing and then is intelligently able to negotiate that so that it broadens out into some other things.
Yeah.
Usually, you get your one role and that's probably going to be the groove you're going to be in.
Exactly.
In voiceovers, you can move that around if you have that in you. Because it's not necessarily for everybody for the range, but it's great the range of projects that you can get in on.
Exactly. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, what do you
Absolutely.
think it takes to be successful in the business? It's changed a lot, obviously, since you first started, but what do you think it takes?
What does it take to be successful? Let's assume that you're talented. Let's assume that you have good control of your voice. Let's assume that you're a good actor, that you take direction well, that you listen well. But on top of that, you've also got to be someone who people want to be around, who people want to have into the party, who's a lot of fun, who's able to roll with it. Who kind of has their own little bag of tricks that they bring with them and bring them out and make people laugh because everybody kind of does that in their own different way. You've got to be somebody that is good in a live performing situation, that's fun to have in a live situation. That's what, most of us, we come from either music or stand-up or radio and also the stage, but it's always a live professional performing situation where you're paid to be in front of a live audience and to react with whatever good or bad happens with that.
Right.
Because that's how things switch up in the booth. Is they change up like that. So you've got to be and you got to be a good sport about things. If things go, maybe you help out. You help out if something's wrong. You're just a good sport about things. So all of those things are just little things, but they actually mean a lot. And you've got to have that up and running to be asked back to the party again and again. There's a reason that people are asked back again and again, and a seemingly smallish group of people are brought in again and again. As like I said, like session players. It's like the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
It's a great little documentary. I don't know if you've seen it. about these session players of the 70s who played on all the pop songs in the 60s and 70s. Just about everything.
I've seen that, yes.
It's awesome.
Yes.
And these, nobody knows who they are.
Nope.
But you know every single song that they've played on.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what we are in the voiceover realm. They're people that, if you need a bass player, you need a big monster, you need a German voice, you need something wacky, you got to call Kevin Michael Richardson, you're going to bring in Rob Paulson, you're going to bring in James Arnold Taylor, you're going to bring in Greta Lyle and Tara Strong, Kari Wahlgren, because they can deliver that so much better, and you won't have to worry about that.
Right.
And they're fun, they're hilarious,
right.
They can do anything.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what you got to have bringing to the table is that kind of confidence that people hire.
Wow. Very cool.
So that's
excellent.
kind of how it seems.
Good answer, man. So, Dee, what do you love about being a dad?
What do I love about
Maybe
being a dad?
you don't love anything about being a dad.
No.
I'm just kidding. What do you love about being a dad?
The best part about being a dad for me is the delayed payoff of seeing that your better side can come to light and can bring something into this world that's better and more important than you are. And having kids is the best school that you'll ever go to because it breaks you down and it calls on you to be the better side and the shining example, the diplomat, and to just bring out love and strength and patience that you would not have found otherwise. And that is a lesson that I continue to learn, and it never stops. But it's nice that way. For me it's a humanizing activity that it can be challenging, it can be hard, it can bring out the worst in you that you have to grapple with and try to do better with.
Yeah.
And that is it's a marvelous thing to have. I'm very lucky to have that. I got two great girls and a fantastic wife. And
how old are your girls?
7 and 12.
7 and 12. Great age.
It's a great age.
They're very intelligent and very smart and confident, and I love them all very much. I hope they like me. I think they do.
He thinks they do. Well,
I would bet they do.
Well, no, dude. Obviously, they know what you do. Are they amused by what you do? Are they in awe about what you do? Or are they just like, he's
You're
our
just
dad?
I'm not sure if they're impressed, but they I mean, some of the things that I do, they like. I mean, we watched an Adventure Time recently where I voiced Cinnamon Bun, and that one actually really.
It's a good. I like that character. It's a good character.
That one they really the reaction was either revulsion or incredulity, or maybe a combination, but just
the kind of voice like that is your dad. Hi, Finn.
It's just the most challenged character I've ever played.
I bet, man.
But their reaction to that one was very interesting. I think my oldest daughter, I think that she likes the clones and finds them kind of interesting and straight ahead and kind of admirable. I mean, that's how I find them anyway.
Yeah.
How did you approach it? I mean, because you play so many different clones. I mean, how did you? And they're all so distinctly different.
That's what we want is to have these guys each have an individual sense of humanity to them. Which is cool because they do that also physically, just with they mod out their weapons and their armor and their tattoos and the way they do their hair, and each one is I'm not just a clone. I'm different from him, and he's different from him. It's that each one is a different guy, and so that's just adjustments that we make in the session. Dave Filoni, our director. He knows where these guys are, and the script is usually very clear, so that you can separate, the new guy from the old grumpy sergeant, from the wiseacre, from the medical guy who's all by the book, but just to give them all a slightly different flavor, and we're getting pretty good, I think, at switching that up as we journey through this story of the clones. I love that show. I'm very, very proud of that show.
That's
It's
so
so
cool.
exciting because I
It's
love
so
Star
good.
Wars.
Yeah,
My folks made me
yeah.
an awesome Jawa costume when I was a kid.
Exactly.
The Halloween after
Yeah.
Star Wars, and I was hired to use it at a movie theater the next summer when they re-released Star Wars.
Wow.
To be a Jawa all summer and watch Star Wars. It's
Exactly.
just awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be. It's gotta be.
It's so well done.
amazingly
It's so well
awesome.
done.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, we want-
Dee, since you've been such a good sport.
This is good.
Okay,
Because you're such a great sport.
What? What are you gonna do to me?
we could do this in German. Okay, so pick a number between 1 and 127.
120.
120.
120.
All right.
120.
Now, yes. Please pick a number between 1 and 4.
I will go with 3.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if we should ask. If you had to kill one person you work with, who would you off?
Adolf Hitler.
That is the safest answer you could probably put out there, man.
Always killed a Nazi.
Yeah, right? Always.
All right, I'm going to ask you this one instead.
Yeah.
If you had to name the dumbest purchase you've ever made, which would it be?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a hard one to narrow down.
There's so many.
The dumbest purchase?
Dumbest purchase.
You know, let's see. A dumb purchase. A dumb purchase. I buy a lot of dumb things all the time.
Name one of them.
This week, which
Something
one?
you bought that afterwards you were like, why did I buy that?
I bought a plastic octopus, but I thought it was cool. But other people might think it was dumb. My plastic octopus is awesome to me.
Character research.
Yeah,
Well, that's
character
right.
research.
That's
See?
I surround myself with my creatures.
That's pretty cool.
What
you
would
buy
an
little
octopus
things
sound
and it
like?
creates voices for
Do we
them.
have an octopus sound?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does have that like gushy note.
Valvy, gushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, now see, you can do that, and you can do the little
Yeah, the
cricket.
little like. I'm not gonna go for it right now because I need to practice.
No, but I like how you because I was a dancer in my whole first life, so I like how it's very physicalized.
Yeah. Well, you block off your nose, you
appreciate that.
you get a different sound when you block off your.
Oh, is that what you do when you do that?
You're
You're just
blocking
blocking
off-
off your
Yeah.
nose. Oh wow.
It gives it a.
Wow.
As opposed to like that. You know, it's
Wow,
a different.
it's
Takes it
amazing how
much-
You
yeah.
actually, your face actually becomes monster-like.
Yeah.
When you do this stuff, I don't even. Have you
that it?
ever looked at yourself?
Don't look at
in
me!
the
Don't look at me
mirror?
when I tell you.
When you do that, I mean, it's amazing. It just also just like, rah! You're like,
I know you
"Oh!"
have like the most, like the sparkly eyes and the most adorable smile, and then you're like, it's just like,
Jesus.
it's awesome.
Nobody wanted to dance with me in high
Yeah.
school.
I bet not.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right? Exactly.
You're lost.
Mr. Baker, I've got a question for you.
Paging Mr. Baker.
So no, think about this because I think that somebody with all of your experience and what you've been through, going from Santa Claus.
You really are he really
to
is
like
fixated
monsters
on
from
the.
another planet.
Children's theater.
Yeah, right.
The Santa Claus thing has really impacted Chuck. I think.
You know what?
It's
I'm
really-
kind of traumatized right now.
He's gonna come sit on your lap right now. And just
no, but
ask
if
you
you
for something.
if you what would you tell yourself, okay, with everything that you've learned, 30 years back, what would you tell yourself? What piece of advice would you give yourself?
I probably would have started listening to Frank Zappa earlier in my life. But other than that, I would have advised myself to go see a Frank Zappa concert to make sure that I went and saw him live.
Because you didn't,
I didn't. That's one of my.
and you love him so much.
It's one of my few regrets is that I missed Frank Zappa
Wow.
playing live, and I had a chance right when I got back from Germany actually, and I was too exhausted, and I missed the Denver concert, and since then I've seen his son play a lot.
Yeah.
He's terrific. Dweezil and the band are very able and really knock it out of the park every time I've seen them. But that's, I mean, other than that, I don't really regret anything.
Anything that you, yeah.
Every
exactly.
door slammed in my face. Every chick who thought I was insane because of how I danced. everything that didn't work out has
What was
led
your
me
dance like?
to it's,
Got the
it's,
move.
I win prizes.
Dancing with the Stars is not calling you?
My family wants me to do that show. I was like, no, I don't want to do that show.
I don't dance like that.
I don't. Oh no, I'd rather do what I'm doing. All of it, has just led me to where I'm at now, and I can't think of anything really that I would do different. I really. That just sounds like a very arrogant,
no, it doesn't.
blind person to say that, but
it doesn't. It means that everything that you went through got you to where you're at, and you wouldn't want to change anything. Because
But do you
love
think
where
that
you're
you
at.
kind of tapped into the being authentic and following your path at an early age? It seems like you kind of figured that out sooner than maybe other people do.
Well, maybe so. I mean, I really loved college. The kind of the coming of age portion of my life. And since then, just all the things that I've done, I just can't think of any misstep or something that led to something that I regret.
Yeah.
There's a lot about myself personally that I would like to improve, and I'm working on that right now as I approach 50. But I just really think, in a way, to treasure the mistakes and the shortcomings and the rejection and all the rest of that it's important, because
Yes.
that leads you. That's part of your learning. It's what you learn from. And so I don't regret any of that. I don't regret.
That's good.
And it
any
does
of
make
that.
you appreciate.
That's good. You're the only guy that
other
doesn't
side.
regret anything
Yeah.
from the past. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that's fabulous, man. I think that that you have a strong foundation, and you wouldn't want to change anything. Dee, thank you so much for coming on VO Buzz Weekly,
Thanks, Dee.
sharing with
Such a
us,
treat.
sharing with them. Thank you, man. Thank you
It's
for
my
taking the
pleasure.
time.
It's a lot of fun just talking about myself. I had a lot of fun talking with Chuck and Stacy about my interesting life and being a mall Santa and doing voiceovers, and it was great. They brought me a lot of water to drink, and they let me make horrible sounds and just go on and on and on about me and my life and what I think about things. And it's great to be able to let you guys know what's happening in the voiceover world and give you some perspective and maybe some insight, have a few laughs, share a few personal moments. And anytime you want, just come on back and you can see it, because it's on the web 24/7.
Was that insane or what?
Dee Bradley Baker.
Oh my
rocks.
gosh. That concludes part 2 with our buddy Dee. Oh,
I know.
insane.
You guys go to VOBuzzWeekly.com, send us your raves, tell us what you love about VO Buzz Weekly and how it's helping you.
Yes.
Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest at VO Buzz Weekly. Take care until next time, and just remember,
You always have time for a little buzz.